Welcome to The Ranker, the bi-monthly show that ranks the top 10 Indiana high school basketball teams. This ranking is the opinion of the ranker only. Rankings are as subjective as the wind. Only teams seen by the ranker will be ranked. Eligible teams for ranking are listed at the end of the video.
In 10th place, the Tri-High Titans, with a record of 10-1. The Titans' only loss was to Shenandoah on December 13th at Shenandoah. The game on last week at Tri-High for the Henry County tournament, which I did attend. Shenandoah won 46-40. Shenandoah is also the only team that they played this year that wasn't 1A. In 9th place this week, the Monroe Central Golden Bears. The Golden Bears are 8-2 on the season, with a loss last week to Winchester, and also a loss to Northeastern. Keep in mind that the teams that are ranked in the ranker are only teams that I've seen, and I had not seen Monroe Central play until recently. Also, the ranker came up with a new point system that ranked them a little differently than last week, or a couple weeks ago in the first ranker show. What the ranker is a composite of is the Sagarin power rating is one third of the score. 1/3 is the their schedule, the percentage that they of wins, and the other third is the percentage of wins of teams that I've seen play. In 8th place is Greenfield Central Cougars. They are 9-2 on the season, with a loss against Fishers in the Hall of Fame Classic. They lost by 5 points, 85-80. And the other loss was to Lawrence North. They lost 77-59. The Cougars are coached by Luke Meredith in his 6th season. He's 95-35 at the school. They did have a nice win this week against Mount Vernon. They won at Mount Vernon 60-55. Seventh place is Guerin Catholic. They are 12-2 on the season. They have a 6 game winning streak going. Their last loss was to Evansville Harrison, and the only other loss was to Westfield on the 13th of December. They are coached by Bob Allen, his 7th season. He is 117-53 at the school, and overall he is in his 13th year, 173 and 127. I have seen Guerin play a couple times. I played Pendleton Heights No, I saw them play Muncie Central on the 4th of December, and I also saw them play Yorktown on the 14th of December. They won both games quite handily. In 6th place this week is Delta Eagles. They are 9-2 on the season. They lost last week to 3A New Palestine in a conference game by 13. Before that, they've had won 8 games in a row, and their only other loss was to Mount Vernon, and also a conference game, 61-40. We do have a big game coming up on Wednesday night at Delta in the Delta County Tournament. The first game they play in it is against Wapahani, who is also ranked.
Watch your passes.
That's his fourth personal, fourth on the team. At the line, for the Bearcats, Carlos Eccles, shooting 2 shots. Timeout.
In 5th place, Lafayette Jeff Broncos. They are now 10-2 on the season. I saw them play last Friday night against Muncie Central. They won quite handily, 53-37. They are their last loss was against West Lafayette. They lost 2 in a row on the 6th and 7th of December against Lafayette Harrison and West Lafayette. They did beat Harrison the next week. That was in a county tournament, I believe, where they had those 2 losses. The next week they played Harrison again, and they beat them in overtime, 48-42. They currently are on an 8-game winning streak. They play Anderson, who is also ranked on Friday night in Lafayette. Next up is the Wapahani Raiders in 4th place. They are 10-0 on the season. They are coached by Matt Luce, who is 319-97 in his 18 years at school. He is in his 23rd year of coaching at 369 wins and 157 losses. They have won 10 in a row, of course. They did have a game postponed last week on Friday because of the snow. And they have not played since the 3rd of January, which might make them rusty against Delta, the number 6 team in the ranker poll. So the number 6 and number 4 are going to be playing each other this week on Wednesday. Should be a good game. They have played several people outside of the 2A realm. The first game of the year was against Muncie Central. They beat them in 51-27, and then they followed that up with another 4A win against Pendleton Heights at home, 62-51. They have beaten LaPel, Hagerstown, West Dell, Alexandria, Frankton, Jay County, and Blue River since then. Third place, the Anderson Indians, under Coach Donnie Bowling. He is 80-28 at the school in 5 years. He is 188 and 101 in 13 years. The Indians are 11-1 this year with a sole loss against Mount Vernon back on December the 17th. They lost that game 52-56. Since then, they have won 7 games in a row, and they play Lafayette Jeff, who is number 5 in the poll this week. Friday night at Lafayette Jeff. Should be a good game. They've also won against they've beaten Liberty Christian and Pendleton Heights twice. I've sold the last 2 games or 3 games that these guys have played against Alexandria, Pendleton Heights, and Liberty Christian. Get the Alexandria game, they got 100 points. They won 100-42 with a running clock for most of the second half. They followed that up with a win against the next night against Pendleton Heights 70-52, and then tonight they lost. They won against Liberty Christian 78-61. And if you look into it, the first time they played Pendleton Heights, they won by 13. The second time they won by 28. At Liberty Christian, the first time they won by 3, and tonight they won by 17. It really wasn't close tonight for most of the game. It was actually a bigger lead than that for most of the second half. Next up is in number 2 is the Westfield Shamrocks. They're 8-1 on the season, coming off a win last Saturday at Carmel, 52-43. They've won it's like 6 in a row, and they have beaten Guerin Catholic. They started out the season with a win at Frankfort and then a win at Pendleton Heights. They beat Frankfort 87-17, and then they beat Pendleton Heights 55-37. They lost at Zionsville 60-57 on the 6th of December, and that was their last loss. They've since then beaten Guerin Catholic, Noblesville, Bethesda Christian, Richmond, Marion, Carmel. And the number 1 team, again for the second time, is the Fishers Tigers at 12-0. They have won 12 games in a row. Actually, they've won more than that because they're the defending state champions. This is Fishers has won their last 25 games in a row. They are in. Their last loss was against Carmel last year, the only loss of the season last year, and they've won 25 games in a row. Like I said before, in a row. Garrett Wingener is their coach. He is in his 5th year at Fishers, and he is 90-23 there. He is 100 in his 6th year of coaching. He's 108-29. They were supposed to play Pike last Friday night. That game was postponed because of the weather, and they haven't played a game since January the 3rd, so it'll be 2 weeks. So they might be a little bit rusty when they go to Brownsburg on Friday night. They are then followed by former Muncie Central player and now coach of the South Bend Riley. They will play his team at South Bend, at Fishers on Saturday night. That'll do it for the Ranker this week. Probably I'll do this again in 2 weeks for the 3rd edition. And would love for you to like and subscribe, and maybe make comments in the comment section if you have any questions or don't agree with the rankings.
Blake, who's winning? Now you're hitting random people? Oh, that actually affected you. Stop hitting random people, Ryan.
Please call again the center field.